Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and More Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Alright, I have a scenario that I found that is rising up in the popular tab right now. It is called the 2020 Wuhan coronavirus, I think is what it's called. There it is. So this is obviously big relevant news right now, because in China, in Wuhan, China, they found a virus that is causing a bit of an epidemic, and my understanding is a lot of people are concerned that it is going to spread internationally and become a global issue. So, very relevant for a game like Plague Inc. I don't really know much about the coronavirus beyond that, though. I really don't know what it does. I'd never heard about it until this, but yeah, you can see that there's plenty of scenarios. I don't read Mandarin, but I'm assuming they're relevant to this. Lots of scenarios going around this. It's the big topic, so here we go. In December 2019, a new strain of coronavirus termed 2019 nCoV, a novel coronavirus discovered in 2019, was identified in Wuhan, China. Hope I'm saying that right. Soon after, the disease spread out to different provinces in China, including Hong Kong, as well as Thailand, Japan, and the United States. We actually did just discover a couple cases, I think, in the United States, which is fun, because I was in the Chicago airport recently, and a couple days later, they found somebody with the virus in the Chicago airport, and I'm like, oh god, that's no fun. Anyway, although we had experiences in handling other coronavirus outbreaks, it seems there are still other threats. Until today, 9 patients died due to the infection. I tried to manipulate the scenario, misspelled according to what actually happened. This scenario aims to remember the event and raise our awareness. Please enjoy. Perfect. I love this. I like it when the community creates these relevant topics here. This is great. Virus type, of course, ATP boost, Darwinist, aquacyclosymephile, and symptostasis should be just fine. 2019 nCoV. Hi there. So, you are in control of this novel coronavirus. I don't even know what it means by saying novel here. Like, what do you mean by that? What does that mean in a medical term? Because I think of this and I'm like, oh, what a novelty. But that's not what it is. I don't know. Named 2019 nCoV. This name was given by the World Health Organization. This virus is an enveloped positive single-strand RNA virus. That's interesting. So I'm trying to remember, like, my old high school biology, but don't RNA viruses, like... Okay, so the deoxyribonucleic acid in your DNA, when it's trying to replicate, like, splits apart and, like, copies things and then comes back together, right? Doesn't an RNA virus try to insert itself and mess up all the DNA strands, and that's how it spreads? I think. It was suspected that bats were the natural reservoir of this disease, and the intermediate hosts were thought to be wild animals. Some fun backgrounds, question mark. Scientists had shown that the virus uses a similar molecular pathway that SARS-CoV used to invade host cells, although genetic sequencing shows only 70% similarities. But research has shown that the new virus and SARS came from the same ancestor virus, HKU9. Okay, well, we're starting off in China. Good, that sounds great. Oh, wow, it spread 15 million people infected in a day. Dude, that's more explosive than I expected. Okay, so transmission. We start off with bats. Bats were thought to be the natural reservoirs, missing an R, of almost all coronaviruses, including SARS and possibly MERS. Typically, they do not transmit the disease to humans, but this time they did. Bat 2. Host shifts usually happens when bats having contact with other wild animals. The spike protein of the virus mutate to adapt to a novel host receptors. This does nothing for 3 DNA, but let's pick it up for this story. Then we have Wildlife's 1. Wildlifes? Okay. Wildlifes are susceptible to infection, increasing infectivity in the rural regions. That is not China, so we don't care about that. Livestock, on the other hand, might be good. Livestock are not usually the intermediate hosts. However, study shows that swine could be infected with a similar coronavirus and cause severe diarrhea in 2018. It doesn't say that's good for urban, so we'll pick it up, but I'm hoping it becomes good for urban. No, also good for rural regions. Well, that's not China, though. China is considered to be urban, even though I think like 80-90% of the country would be considered rural. Almost all the population density is in urban areas. So we want urban. So this is not that great. We have air. Okay, that's normal. And then we have close contact 1. Having close contact with patients increase the chance of infection, increasing infectivity in air-sea routes. That sounds pretty nice, but it's very expensive. Symptoms, what do we want? We have fever, which can be fatal, severe dehydration. We have insomnia, less productive, more severe. We have coughing, chance of spreading in high-density urban areas. Pick it up, thank you. Then we have conjunctivitis, inflammation or swelling of the conjunctiva. Not bad, a little bit of severity and some infectivity, I'll pick that up. Pneumonia, very good in the cold climates, which we're not yet. Sneezing, always a good pickup, very good for infectivity. Abilities, we have our standard cold, heat, and drug resistance, and our viral instability. All right. We've gone through all of our opening moves, and we are already spreading into other countries, and what that means is I really want to get some severity because we're missing out on DNA. We're going fast here. Let's go for the sneezing and the pneumonia. We also have headache. That might be too much severity if I do that. Oh, there's pulmonary edema, but that's a little bit lethal. Not sure how I feel about that. Let's go for the wildlife's 1, then we have 2. Okay, this is good in urban and rural areas. Perfect. So we do want to pick up that as well. We are spreading very rapidly in neighboring countries. Holy crap. I mean, talking about, like, remembering things, right? This is supposed to be a remembrance scenario, trying to recreate it more faithfully. I feel like we've spread way more than we should be able to, but I don't know. Maybe the disease in Asia actually has spread about this much, and like 300 million people are infected right now, and I didn't know it. I don't think so, because I feel like I'd hear it a lot more in the news if that were the case, but maybe. Let's go for wildlife's 2, and that gives me more urban and rural, which is good in a lot of places, including in Europe. In a normal checkup, a doctor in China found a new disease. This, you know, normally is just like a default message, but in this case, it actually totally works. All right, we got into Saudi Arabia. We could go for more air transmission, which is good, but do I want that? I'm a little worried about getting on boats, honestly. Let's see, acute respiratory failure, again, could be fatal. Coma, not something I want. Yeah, most of this is a little bit too aggressive right now at this stage. I think we need to go for some drug resistance and cold resistance and try to spread a little faster in Europe. Try to get around a little bit more. I mean, we're in Russia already, and that's good. Let's go for more cold resistance, but not a lot of really relevant transmissions. You know, I take that back, actually. There's a lot of potential rural transmission here in this scenario. Maybe we'll be okay. Now, I don't really want the acute respiratory failure. I'm going to go ahead and devolve that. The too much lethality means that these islands will get shut down pretty quickly. And I'm very concerned about getting into that Greenland. Very highly concerned about that. We got a lot of really early DNA just from exploding in China. How are we doing in India? Not quite hitting critical mass there, which actually surprises me. I'm going to go for livestock 2, which leads to the zoonotic shift. Okay, genetic shift allows for changes in the spike protein. Okay, so this is probably pretty good. I don't know what this is yet. I'll bet you it has something to do with infecting humans more effectively. Pulmonary edema. No. We're going to get rid of that as well. A little bit too much. Much as I enjoy the severity, we actually have enough for now. The zoonotic shift costs how much? 21. It's a little expensive. I might want to switch this around to getting the transstasis, but there we go. So we have zoonotic shift. This probably will lead to extra mutation chance. Still no idea what this does. So, okay, I guess we have to go for close contact if we want to get on the boats. I mean, I say that. I mean, most of the ports and stuff have not shut down. We're doing really well in places like Russia. Let's get rid of this again. This cost me a lot of points, but okay. There's Greenland. Okay, hang on, maybe we're fine. So we're missing Madagascar and New Zealand and the Caribbean and Iceland. Quite a few places, honestly. More drug resistance? Heat resistance? I mean, China is, I think, neutral in terms of climate, so heat resistance could be helpful. Okay, we got into Madagascar. That's good. There's a pulmonary edema again. Gonna have to get rid of you. We'll probably go for viral instability and let the mutation chance carry me to victory. Let's go for the close contact for more boats. I really need to see us get into New Zealand and the Caribbean ASAP. Let's get drug resistance to spread faster in the United States, because that's a little slow at the moment. Some people are starting to die. We need to get rid of that pulmonary edema once again. The good news is mutation chance is clearly pretty aggressive. So once we do... Oh, there's coma. Once we do let it go, I think we're going to find ourselves spreading very rapidly. Again, I have to get rid of this, though. Come on. Yeah, okay, we got New Zealand. That's good. Caribbean. Can be a little tricky. Iceland, I'm surprised, is still having issues. Gosh, it keeps trying to mutate. The Darwinism is really costing me a lot of points right now. But okay. No, just a little bit more. Come on. Okay, we got Iceland. Just waiting on the Caribbean. Please don't shut down that port. We could go for close contact 2, but that's so expensive. All right, we're going to get rid of one more time. One more time, we get rid of the coma. Please, United States is hitting critical mass. Get a boat in the Caribbean right now. There it is. All right, so now we let it go. Let it go! Let it go! Let's go for viral instabilities level 1 and level 2. Really start ramping it up. There's a pulmonary edema. Hopefully land transmission is strong enough that we can still get around no problem in Africa. I'm going to go for extra air transmission, which is usually pretty helpful, especially spreading in more arid regions in northern Africa and so on. We are missing Morocco and Algeria. There's the acute respiratory failure. Okay. Does the virus actually develop in this way? Because this is actually pretty strong. This is pretty severe. There we go. We're in every country. Alrighty. So now we just let the game carry me to victory. So we have acute respiratory distress. ARDS happens when fluids fill the alveolus. alveolus of the lungs, thus causing low oxygen level in the blood. So what is that, hypoxia? The lowered oxygen deprives organs around the biddy, could be fatal, all right? And pulmonary fibrosis, intense exercise. We already have the coma. We could go for the fever. Let's pick that up. We also have inflammation, swelling, obstructs breathing, and systemic infection. All that's pretty good. I do need to be a little bit concerned about the possibility of no corpse transmission leading to a problem. Let's go for some genetic hardening and just kind of slow down the cure for extra score at this point. I think mutation chance is extremely high. So we should be getting pretty much everything without needing to spend any points there at all. It's just about buying off extra score. Acute respiratory distress does mutate for us. Okay. New Zealand begins to break down. Grand. There's hypoxia. Okay, I did say that was going to happen, didn't I? Then we have liver failure. Very lethal. Liver is unable to function due to the lack of oxygen in the blood. 0 DNA. It's free. I'm not going to pick it up right now until we hit critical mass in Algeria, but we're getting close. Botswana is actually having a harder time, surprisingly. We need more heat resistance and then probably environmental hardening, because we're actually killing too fast here. There we go. Systemic infection. That's it. Okay, that's what we were looking for, was the resistances. Dunskies. Now I feel like we can go for the liver failure for free. We have septic shock. Very lethal. 10 DNA. Pretty cheap. Acute encephalitis. Also pretty effective. We're not overkilling, are we? Is everyone? No, there are no healthy people left in the world. So we go for the acute encephalitis, we go for the septic shock, and then we have the total organ failure, and that is everything. Nicely laid out symptoms, by the way. I find this pattern very pleasing. All right, now everyone just plops over dead and we win. Can we afford any genetic reshuffles? Not unless we get 26 DNA, which I don't think we're going to. And the mutation patterns are extraordinary, say the remaining 5 million people in the world. And they're all very, very dead. Sweet. All right. Well, that's terrifying. That's a real disease that is going around right now. I'm not sure it's that effective. God, I hope it's not. But, yeah, just this a reminder sometimes, guys. Plague Inc., you know, it's all fun destroying the world and killing a few billion people on repeat, but, the reality is there are deadly diseases out there and people actually do die, and these kind of things can happen. So be very afraid. 304 days, 51% cure progress, a little bit high for my taste, but okay. 76,336 points and 3 stars overall. Not bad. Yes, I would say that this is a very well laid out scenario, lots of good customization, and also very, very relevant. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and of course the notify bell as well, because that's really, really important, and I know for a fact that only about 16% of my audience has done so. So statistically speaking, you're probably one of the ones that hasn't. Do it. Do it now. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.